Welcome to Entre Amigos. Today we have a special guest and we're trying to do this sort of live. So Laura, hello, how are you?
Hello, hello, hello. We're happy to have someone very important to us here connected for Entre Amigos. I'm sure she's going to be very exciting to hear. We've been chatting with her for the past weeks and months. So let us see who it is. Let me see, Ivancho. I'm letting her in right now. I'm sure it's going to be very exciting for many of us.
Yeah, she was an important part of our lives at school.
Let me see who comes there.
Hello.
Okay, can you see me?
We can see you. Hello, Miss Koele. We're so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you.
You
But
look so beautiful.
Not beautiful. I stopped dyeing my hair about 2 months ago.
Well, you look
Now I don't
fantastic.
even-
That's the new you.
What?
You
Let
look
me-
fantastic.
That's right, the new me.
We're so happy to have you here after so many months trying to have you. It's very important for us having you here in this show called Entre Amigos that was created to basically to see you guys, to see our teachers, our counselors, and our friends. So I'm very happy and very glad we were able to reconnect.
I think you're wonderful doing this. It's a great project.
Thank you very much. You have no idea how much fun we've had because we're connecting with teachers, with also students. We're remembering this show was made, to connect with our Bolivar family, to remember all of those wonderful moments we all lived back in school. And obviously, you were such a big part of Colegio Bolivar, and we would love to know, where are you connecting from? Where are you? What's happened with you since we last saw you?
Okay, you know what? I left Colombia in 1997.
Mhm.
And I came to Orlando, Florida, because my kids were here.
Mhm.
So I've been in Orlando ever since, but I don't live near the parks.
Oh, you live the other Orlando experience, the more calm Orlando.
There's a, it's like, it's not a suburb, it's part of Orlando, but it's called Winter Park. And that's a chi-chi place. And we're going to have meals there, and we walk on Park Avenue there. It's nicer than Orlando.
Nice.
Orlando's okay.
Well, Laura is also in Florida. I'm here in New York. So
I live in Miami.
Have you had your vaccine?
Yes,
Good.
we were
Yeah.
both vaccinated. My parents in Colombia got vaccinated, and that has me happy. And obviously, Florida and its laws, everybody's walking around like if nothing happened. But I guess everybody's coming here to get vaccinated, and that makes me happy for, the community.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 1995.
Hey, what? 1990,
1995.
1995.
Yep.
Okay. And I left school in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
and I graduated in 1993. So 2 years before Laura did.
I think it's a wonderful idea what you're doing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So Ms. Koele, so we want to know a little bit about your life. How did you end up working at Colegio Bolivar, and how did you end up living in Cali? Because you're European, right?
It's a long story.
It's a long story, I know, but we don't know it.
The thing is, my family is Jewish.
Yeah.
So I was born in Germany, and my father was smart enough to see what was happening. So he had to leave, and we couldn't go to the States. You couldn't go to the States unless you had somebody who vouched for you. We didn't have anybody. So we went to England. So I actually grew up in England, and my heart is still there
Mm-hmm.
because I was there during the war, Second World War. I was at a boarding school, and so I was educated in England. And then after that, what happened after that? How did we, oh yeah, I know. I got a job with a general who was stationed in Germany after the war. You know how the Germans, when they lost the war, the different countries each had a part of Germany to supervise. So this general didn't want to have his kids go to the army school. So he hired me to teach the kids everything.
Oh, how interesting. Like private tutor.
Like a tutor. But, you know, we lived in a gorgeous house. They had a nanny, so I didn't have to do anything except teach. You know, after school was over, there was nothing for me to do. And I was so bored. I had a little money that my father had sold a house in Germany. So I had a little money. I decided I'd buy a car. I didn't know how to drive. So I went with the army, with one of the army chauffeurs to buy the car, a little Volkswagen. And he taught me how to drive it. So, and that's the way I met my husband, in a little cafe in Germany.
Wow.
Lovely.
Yeah, and he asked me to dance. And the first thing he said, I don't think you're really English. And I was not happy about that. But anyway, he had been deported to Germany for forced labor during the Second World War. So he hated the Germans, and so did I. So we had something in common.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I got married to this guy. And the rest of my family went to Colombia. At that same time that we went to England, they went to Colombia, because in Colombia, they obviously welcomed the people. So after I finished college, they invited me to go and visit my grandparents over there. So I went to Cali for the first time, and I loved it. I thought I was in heaven. They had
I hope so nice to hear that.
mates, and they had all this good food. And so I thought, oh, this is a nice place, because I came from England, which everything was very not good after the war. So anyway, I had to go back. And when I went back, we decided to get married. He was from Holland. And I said, I want to go to Colombia, because he was going to go to Casablanca or Kuala Lumpur. He had a job there. I said, no. We're going to Colombia. That's where my family is. That's where we're going. So we went. That's how I ended up in Colombia. And I
We're
was
so grateful you took that decision.
And when I wanted to go teach in the Bolivar, they said, no,
Wow.
you don't have a degree from the USA. I thought, oh, bad luck for you, because I had a very good education. So anyway, about 2 years later, they called me. They need a teacher like tomorrow. So I buried my pride and I went, and I thought, I'm going to show you that I'm just as good as all of you USA people. So I worked my butt off that first year. But anyway, that's how I started.
And you started teaching a certain grade, or you went directly
No, I
to
started kindergarten.
kindergarten?
I told Mr. Swall, who was then the director, if you don't give me another grade, I'm leaving, because kindergarten is not for me. And so Yeah, because I wasn't allowed to speak anything except English, and there were these little kids who were all Colombians, didn't understand me. It was not good. So he said, okay, and he gave me second grade, and then third grade, and then I was counselor. I went back. They had at the Bolivar, they had a program for the teachers to for higher education, and they had una relación with the University of Alabama, in Alabama. So they used to send teachers over, and we used to have classes after school to get a master's, which I did get. So then I had to go and get a master's in counseling and guidance. To tell you the truth, I was not good at that.
But I want to make a parenthesis, and I want to take this time to thank you about something. You were a counselor when I was in sixth grade, which was that middle school.
In middle school.
And I was bullied like for maybe sixth and seventh. And I remember going to your office in the corner.
Yeah.
And that brings me emotion with the kids that were bullying me. And you gave me so much strength to stand up for myself. And I remember I was sitting there. I was 13, 12, I don't remember. I was sitting there and the boys were sitting there because it was the boys that bullied me. And you stood up for myself and you gave me that power to say, you know what, guys? I'm strong enough. I'm not gonna get bullied anymore. I don't care if you say things about me. And that, believe me, resonated so much with me that I want to thank you personally that you took that time to sit them down, to let them know they were doing things wrong, that they needed to respect the girls and they needed to respect me in that point, in that part. So thank you very much. Believe me, you're a great counselor because you made me, you made a difference in my life.
Yeah, the thing is, when you're a counselor, you don't know if you're successful or if you're not.
You were.
Know?
You were.
I didn't think I was. And so when they offered me to be a principal in middle school, I thought, oh, this is much more like me. I can, and it was a piece of cake for me. To be the principal was the easiest thing I ever did. But
that was after we graduated, because when we were in school, you were still a counselor. So actually I had you twice as counselor, first in elementary. I remember a little room next to the computer room that you have like some games, and there was like a little castle, and I used to love, and I'm wearing this shirt in honor of you today with the Muppets. And and I remember that room for me, like Laura said, also it was my escape because I didn't used to play soccer with the kids, and I guess in lunch I used to go to that room, and it was amazing. It had that game of operator. I used to love that.
Yes, I remember that.
It was my favorite. It was my favorite room in the whole school. I felt. So
when you're the counselor, you're very popular because you're so nice. That's when I became the principal. Dr. Felton, who was then the head of the school, he told the students, she's not going to be as nice anymore. When I was the principal, I couldn't be that nice.
Well, but you were also tough when you were a counselor. I remember, very, very, very strong. I remember you were like very strong and tough also as a counselor.
The German part of you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're so right. You're so right. My cousin said to me, we are very German. And to nuestro modo de ser. Because but I don't like the Germans, period.
Yeah, so we had you in middle school again, and that's where it was a little bit tougher. So two things, you just said like 3 words in Spanish, and I think it's the first time in so many years that I heard you speak Spanish. I'd never imagined, well, I know you speak Spanish, but I never heard you in school during all those years, 14 years, speak Spanish. So
I wasn't so good at it then. The thing is, my daughter was ended up by being a swimmer for Colombia. So every afternoon, I would sit in the pool with the other mothers, and we would talk in Spanish. That's how I learned Spanish. So I'm not bilingual, but I speak it pretty well. You know, here when I start speaking in Spanish, people are very surprised.
Yeah, I know. And I saw the other day on Facebook that gave me a lot of happiness, and we're going to share the picture that you were having a Colombian lunch with Mr. Torloni and Mrs.
Oh, yeah.
Hernandez. And it was like, wow,
Yeah.
you guys are still connected and you speak and you see each other. Tell us about that relationship.
Well, I worked with Mrs. Hernandez, but I'm quite frankly, she was okay, you know, with me, but she was never my friend, let's say. And anyway, but she lives in Tampa, near Tampa, and she's nearly blind because she has macular degeneration. So she's nearly blind. But she arranged that. She said, let's go and visit Inge in Orlando. And I'm in touch with Mr. Tolon because we work together, you know. So my love for Bolívar is still there.
I love to hear that.
I mean, in Bolívar, it's a wonderful school.
it is, it is. We also saw a picture of you with Mrs. Perlaza that lives in Tampa.
Yeah, Mrs. Perlaza lives near me. Mrs. Perlaza is every single day on Facebook.
Yes, she is.
She loves sharing pictures of the birds and the butterflies and nature. Yeah. She lives a good life.
She has a good life.
So yeah,
she got divorced and then she went to the States. Her kids are in the States, so she did very well. And you guys, what are you doing here now, Ivan?
Ivancho, start with you.
Well, I'll start. So I live in New York. I've been here for 13 years. Before that, I was in Miami and other places like Barcelona, Mexico, and other places. I'm a real estate broker. So basically that's what I do. And that's it. I work, I do CrossFit, I travel. I like to travel a lot. And now we're doing EntreAmigos.
So are you married?
I'm married. I'm gay. I have a wonderful husband. I've been married for 13 years. And,
wonderful.
And we have a little dog that is right here sitting next to me. And that's it. And I'm very happy to live in New York, to be in the States. And I'm very happy that I went to Colegio Bolívar because it gave me so many opportunities and the ability to be here.
So. Yeah. Oh, great. And now what about Laura? Laura?
I've been in Miami for the past 21 years. I graduated in journalism and communications in Bogota, Colombia. And I came here and I've always wanted to work like in the entertainment business and the music business. And I own my own, I'm an owner at a PR firm dedicated to develop musicians and brands in the US Hispanic market. I am not married, but I live a beautiful life with my boyfriend. We've been together for 13 years already. And I have a hot dog that is 15 years old.
Is he American or is he Colombian?
He's Puerto Rican. He's from Puerto Rican. He's from Puerto Rican, a very nice guy, photographer. We have a beautiful and healthy life. I've had no children. I never wanted kids. So, and he never wanted kids. So it was good for us. We have the dog and we're happy like that. And my parents still live in Colombia. They still live in Cali. So I go back and forth. I always spend my Christmases and my holidays back in my house with my parents.
Oh, nice. I went to Colombia only twice. I went to Colombia the first time because they invited me because it was the 50th anniversary, I think it was.
And how was it?
Huh? It was very nice. Very, oh, that you, well, no, you were not there.
No, I don't remember.
I don't
No,
remember.
they
That's the
invited
vacation.
Mr. Swall, who was the director way back when. They invited, you know, I can't remember what they all did, but it was very nice. And the next time I went to Colombia I went to the dentist. The dentist is the best thing.
I know. We all go to Colombia to visit the dentist and the doctors. That's the best plan. Plus, it's more affordable.
Yeah, I know. Es que es una diferencia, no solamente eso, especially the dentist. The one I got was so good that, you know, much better than the one I have here.
I know. Mrs.
But
Koele,
anyway,
what do you remember the most from the school? Is there something like a particular classroom, a smell, something you ate, an event, something that brings you that memory and you have it look super clear?
what I remember the most is that on Mondays, when I was a principal, we had assembly and we had to sing the national anthem of Colombia and the national anthem of the US. And I didn't really know either of them. I was pretending that I knew it, you know, because there was everybody singing. And I didn't know I knew the words, some of them, but not the whole. So that's what I remember. It made me nervous every time we had it. And because the 8th graders would, you know, not behave so well at this assembly, they were so. But anyway, that's what I remember.
What about the hymn of the school? Do you remember that one?
What? The hymn of the school? Yeah, I do and I don't. But I know that my son, he was here fixing me to it so I could look at you guys because I'm technical. I'm an F in technology. So anyway, they had a reunion.
Mhm.
And they were sitting outside near a fountain and they were singing the Bolivar anthem. You know, there's something about the Bolivar that keeps people together. And I think that's wonderful.
It is a strong
But
community.
Sorry.
It is a very strong community.
Yeah, everybody seems to remember it and like the thought of Bolivar. So,
Everybody we've chatted with, every time we mention Bolivar, it's like it's a spark in their eyes. If you don't remember someone, but you know they're from the school, immediately you feel connected.
yeah.
Ivan and myself, we've been, you know, fortunate enough to go back to the school every now and then, to the reunions we've had with the classrooms. We have we're class presidents for our classes. We have like a WhatsApp chat, a Facebook group. So it's a community. That's why I believe this is one of the projects that we've enjoyed the most, just because once you say Colegio Bolivar, you made that connection and it's like if time never passed by.
Yeah, that's true. My daughter just had a reunion with her class, and they were all from Colombia.
She was class of 1970 something, right?
She in 1976.
1976. Yeah. You had other kids at school? I don't remember.
I had a son, but he didn't graduate from there because that's another whole story.
Mm-hmm.
But because he ran away from home, and so it was like we have to get him out of here. So he finished his studies in Vermont, in the USA.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So-
good. That's good. Yeah, I know about your daughter because of this program, I've been researching the kioscos. Remember the school book, and I saw your daughter. So I have it, you know, I have it present in my mind that she was your daughter. But of
But
course,
I remember you really well.
really?
Yeah, I remember when I heard your name, I thought you know, the picture came up.
Oh,
I don't remember you for some reason. You were too good.
I remember you a lot. I remember you a lot. And I remember when I saw you in Facebook and we started with Ivan, you know, figuring out this show. And I'm like, do you think we could get a hold of Mrs. Koele? Yes. Someone has the number. And I remember calling your house and you weren't picking up because you had no idea what that number was. And then finally we decided to connect. But yeah, no, I usually behaved. I behaved very good. I wasn't
Me
like
too.
a student. I was very, very nice. Well, besides of the bullying period in my time, I mean, I did poetry. I was like in the school play, but I behaved a lot. And Ivancho, he always stands out. So I'm
Did you
sure
have brothers and sisters in school?
I have a brother, but he never went to Colegio Bolívar. He went to Juanambu, the boys' school. He still lives in Cali. He has two girls. One is 13 years and the other one is 15. And Ivancho has his sister that
So
went.
my sister went to Colegio Bolívar. She graduated in 1987. So yes, you met her. Her name is Diana Pelaez. Diana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember you. I don't know why, but and you look exactly the same except for the beard. Because you have
He hasn't aged. I'm sure that he went a lot to your office. That's why you have him. He wanted to play with the Muppets and the operation thing.
Actually, when I was in elementary, I went a lot to that little room to play. I remember that. I used to love those games there. And actually, when I came to the States, I went to look for those games because I wanted to buy Operator. I never did, but I wanted to buy those games. But in middle school, I went to your office, I think twice or something like that. I didn't go that much. But I remember you were also part of a program for people that wanted to study abroad or something like that.
yeah.
So I went twice there to find out because I wanted to study abroad, like in Italy or something like that. I remember that little time of my life.
Did you study abroad or not?
No,
you
I didn't. I went. So after I graduated from Bolivar, I went to Bogota. I studied in Los Andes. Then I went to La Javeriana and I studied with Laura. We went to and studied mass communication. And then I went to Miami and I graduated in Miami.
Oh, but in school, were you friends with Laura or not?
We were friends, but she's younger. She's 2 years younger than me. So we were friends. We knew each other, and yeah, right.
It was cordial, but we didn't like hang out in break or like after school. It was in the university where we connected and we became like great friends. We partied together. We went to class together. And then after that, obviously, he moved to Miami and we've been able to connect. Ivancho, I think we have someone.
Laura, you're still in Miami, right?
Still in Miami, yes.
So
you
Mrs.
like
Koele,
Miami?
I love Miami. I love Miami. It's really close by. I mean, it's a 3-hour drive. 3-hour flight to Cali, 3 hour and a half. And and it's okay. It's the closest, the closest city to the United States. Everybody speaks Spanish.
Yeah. I have a granddaughter who lives in Miami. She wanted to go to Miami no matter what. And so I said, you can't go to Miami unless you have a job. She said, no, I'm going now and I'll get a job. And she did. And she's still there. And she loves it. She loves Miami.
we have a little present for you. She's an alumni from Colegio Bolivar, and you can accept her, Laura. She wants to say hi to you. We have Jimena Beltran, and she worked at school also.
Jimena Beltrán, yo me recuerdo de ella.
Yeah, so she wants to say hello to you and as a guest for this show. Hello, Jimena. How are you?
Hola. Hola, Laura, ¿cómo estás? Hola, Iván, ¿cómo te va? Hi, Miss Koele, how are you?
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are things going?
You look great.
Thank you so much. You look great.
When you were in school, you look really
remember
nice.
Thank you.
So we
Thank you
wanted
so
to
much.
have Jimena because Jimena wanted to say hi to you, and also because Jimena was part of, after she graduated, she worked at school as the alumni director, right?
Yes.
And so I think that you guys also were at school together during that time that you worked there, right, Jimena?
But I know about the reunions and stuff. I know she works hard at it. I think it's great.
Yeah,
Do they pay you for this, or you do it? Is it volunteer?
I was there for 3 years, I guess. 3 or 4 years, Miss Koele. And yes, after a time I got paid because once the position was created, yes, it's a position in the school. So yes, it has a payment for that. Yeah. But I left like 14 years ago already. Time goes by so fast.
14 years ago, so not so long. I've
Yeah.
been here
How
20.
long have you been?
It's incredible.
20?
And so are you
Oh,
married?
yeah. Yes, I'm married. I have 2 grown-up kids. They're adults already. There's one 24 and the other one's 20.
Oh, como pasa el tiempo, it's terrible.
Como pasa el tiempo, pero aquí estamos.
I'm telling you one thing, everybody. When you get to be 70, you start eating all the unhealthy food that you want.
Yes.
Because 90 plus is just not recommendable. I don't know what I'm doing here. And I have everything I need. I have 2 kids that look after me. I'm living at home. I have enough money, and I still don't think it's not worth it to be so old. You know, you don't have to be that old.
You're talking about food. What do you miss from Colombia? What do you miss from Cali as foods, as delights?
Because I miss the people, and es que no se puede comparar.
But do you
You know, it's just something you can't compare Colombia with the United States.
I agree.
You know, the best thing about the United States for me is the traffic. Because the traffic over there is
It's terrible.
terrible. But el resto, I like Colombia, and I love nature in Colombia. The mountains and going to Saladito and going to, that's what I miss.
And
Mrs.
our
Koele, do
beautiful
you miss
school.
anything from school, like from the food?
I went to school once. When I went to the dentist, I went to the school, and it's now so different.
It's
So-
a completely different building. It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Do you miss Chontaduro? Do you miss Lulo? Do you miss
Of course,
Sancocho de gallina.
Chontaduro, sí, pero Lulo, you can buy. There's a tienda about 5 minutes from my house where they sell jugo de lulo, they sell pan de bono, they sell chicharrones, all that stuff.
Ay, qué rico. That's the unhealthy stuff you mentioned that we have to continue eating after a certain age. Food makes life happier.
I agree.
Yeah.
So Jimena, we were talking with Mrs. Koele, and Laura had a beautiful, she told us about a beautiful experience she had with Mrs. Koele because Mrs. Koele helped her when she was getting bullied at school. I was telling that I used to go to that little room with the toys and used to escape from playing soccer with the boys. Do you remember anything like that with Mrs. Koele?
I remember, I can't remember her name, but she's on Facebook all the time. This girl who she hated coming to school. She would come to school and start screaming, and she wanted to go home, and the parents had to come and get her, and I can't remember her name. Alicia, I think, something. She's on Facebook all the time now, looking very normal. Because kids, husband, and everything is fine. But I remember her. She was so them to coming to school. It was like a punishment for her. That's why I remember. I remember lots of things. I remember the classrooms. The first year I taught there, I taught the kindergarten.
Mhm.
I taught nursery I taught kindergarten in the morning, nursery after that, and then Mr. Swall made me teach a PE class.
What?
So these kids came from high school up to the kindergarten to have PE with me. And I knew how to teach PE because that was part of my training when I, learned to be a teacher in good old England. So I could do it. But it was like, this is too much. And things have changed. Now they have specialists for everything.
Mhm.
I mean,
Jimena, what do you remember the most from those days?
from what?
Miss Koele, first of all, I'd like to say I love your Spanish. It's perfect. No accent, very Bajuno even. You have a very Bajuno accent. That's great. I remember a lot of things because I came into school being a first grader, knowing no English at all. So K4 and K5 back then was nursery and kinder. I mean, kids already knew a lot of English when they reached first grade. So I spent a lot of time with Miss Koele in her room with a little table and the little chairs. And I remember it was so funny. Sometimes my parents came in at the beginning and it was funny. I remember seeing them kind of trying to sit down in the little chairs. That was very funny. That's a memory I have. And playing in that room, also being observed, but nicely observed, because then I went when I finished third grade, I went straight to fifth grade. So I did spend a lot of time in her in her room also, being with who was that? With Jorge Mejia. And Miss Koele, you helped us a lot. Getting to be ready to be ready to go to fifth grade with the bigger ones.
Yeah, because you had to learn to read in English and everything.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
hard.
I had a year. I had a year probe.
I don't know, the school now, is the school still bilingual? Do you know?
Yes, it is.
Now.
I
Is it
believe
still
in school there are still, religion. There's a bunch of classes that are still taught in Spanish. Chemistry, I got chemistry in Spanish back then with Manuelita, but it's still bilingual.
Yeah. So have you been interviewing all these people that you met? Mr. Poggio?
We
Mhm.
haven't connected yet with Mr. Poggio. We connected with Manuelita. We connected with Alice Barr. We connected with Mr. Pozo. There's like a bunch of.
Oh, yeah. I think it's wonderful what you're doing. Who came up with the idea? You
Ivan.
Ivan? Fantastic. I congratulate you. I think that's wonderful.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I wanted to have the opportunity to reconnect with our friends like Jimena. I haven't seen Jimena in a while, but we always like chat and stay together. And with Laura, we chat and we see each other. But I was missing, a lot of people. I was missing the opportunity to talk to our teachers. And well, we got to this show and it's been fantastic. We had Mrs. Perlaza, we had Doris Giraldo, we had Raquel Cruz also.
Yeah, Raquel Cruz. Did you hear what happened to Raquel Cruz? I heard, because she lives in near Armenia in
Quimbaya, she lives.
Yeah, and so she came to Cali to get her vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And her kids live in Cali, so she wanted to go back home. No había modo.
Le tocó quedarse en Cali.
They had to fly to Bogota and fly to Armenia to get home.
Wow.
Because of the paro or whatever it is they were having down there.
Yeah, the situation is kind of
Colombia is not so good right now. Especially Cali. It seems to be not so good.
Unfortunately not, but I think that we lived through the bad situations in Cali before. When you were in school, remember that time where the guerrilla came in school, remember twice, you know, we had the drug problems in Cali. So I think we had a time that it was also very rough. Um, but here we are, we're happy, and we're happy that we are alive, and we can be here in this program.
I can't. I'm looking at myself on this thing. I don't even recognize myself with this white hair.
But you look exactly the same because you had a little bit of white hair when you were in school.
You look amazing.
My
You
hair.
look amazing.
Till 2 months ago, I dyed my hair. I had mechones and all that. And entonces I thought, too much, you know, too much work. Let me just go white. So I'm going to stay white. I'm old enough.
It looks fantastic. So, Mrs. Koele, thank you very much for this opportunity to have you here in this show. It's really important for us. We wanted to have you for a long time. I thank Diana Romero, that was the one who gave me your contact at the beginning. And I'm happy that Jimena was able to join and say hi to you. I really appreciate every single moment, every single minute that you dedicated to us during those days at school. It meant a lot for us.
I loved it. I loved working there. I loved teaching there. I loved everything about it. And the kids are adorable. I mean, that's a good thing because it was like a high socioeconomic kind of an atmosphere. I mean, there wasn't that much discipline problem. You know, that wasn't so difficult.
No, not in our days. We
well behaved, you know, and I mean, well brought up, nice families. So it was a lovely school.
So aquí veo que todos queremos llorar.
No, yo ya lloré, Jime, yo ya lloré un rato largo. Jime, qué rico que nos pudiste acompañar. Gracias por entrar este tiempito. Hola, me da mucha alegría verte. No te veía hace muchísimo tiempo.
Hace tiempo no nos veíamos. Sí, pero yo he estado viendo las 2 entrevistas que ya han salido al aire. Súper lindas, los felicito, de verdad. Aprovecho para decirles al aire que muchas gracias. Ha sido realmente muy lindo poder ver las dos, escuchar los dos. A Lucas lo conocí ya en su trabajo de actor, no en el colegio, porque pues son algunos años de diferencia, pero fue muy rico. Inmediatamente aprovecho para decir, me dieron ganas de pan. And it's been so nice to see you here, Miss Koele. I really keep you in my heart. And I'm so grateful for many things you helped me go through in school.
All of you students are in my heart. And I just loved it. Because I think in order to be a teacher, you have to love it. You know, it's like being a doctor. You have to love it. Otherwise, you're no good. So I love it. You know, I was sad when I had to leave, but it was time.
I'm gonna take a picture. Everybody, please say cheese.
Cheese.
Oh my God.
So
this
Laura,
is a moment to remember, Mrs. Koele. I'm gonna be sending you to your email this interview and the other interviews if you want to see them. We've aired already 3.
Lovely. Wonderful.
We've taped around 25.
Oh my goodness.
But
I think this is I don't know how you came to the idea even. I think you guys are amazing. You're the product of Colegio Bolivar.
Oh.
Proud products of Colegio Bolivar. So, Ms. Koele, if you want to take a little minute here to say a message to everybody that is going to watch this interview and to say goodbye to everybody, please take time to.
Okay, let me just say, I will always remember the time I spent at Colegio Bolivar. I remember the students, some more than others. The ones that went naughty, I remember better than the other ones. but I mean, Cali for me was work because I worked for a long time. I worked at the Bolivar for 33 years. So I just loved it. And I hope it's still going strong.
It is. It
And
is.
my love to all the people who are watching this, and congratulations to you two for making this possible. I mean, a mí me parece amazing.
Tan linda,
Gracias.
gracias.
No, pero de verdad.
Muchas gracias, Laura y Iván, por invitarme. La
Gracias,
oportunidad,
Jime, qué rico
gracias.
contar contigo. Te voy a despedir por acá para que podamos cerrar el show. Encantadas de tenerte.
¿Cómo? No entendí.
We're gonna.
Sorda, entre otras cosas.
We're saying bye to Jimena, and we're
Oh.
gonna like take her off the screen so Ivan, you and I can close and wrap the show.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chao,
Bye.
Jimmy.
Chao, gracias.
So for the record, I was not naughty. For the record of everybody, I was not naughty. I was just special at school, so people remember me, I guess. Mrs. Koele, once again, thank you very much for everything that you did for us during school. And thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today, this morning, in this show, Entre Amigos. We're gonna be always on contact from now on. We're on Facebook. So also you can follow us there.
I will, and thank you so much. A, for inviting me, but B, for congratulating you guys. I think it is amazing what you did. So
Thank
I'm
you very
very
much.
happy.
God bless you. You've been one of the highlights of these series of interviews. Everybody's is gonna be so excited to hear from you, to see that you're doing well, and that you remember so much from those amazing days back at school.
You're going to say, oh my God, look at her, how old she is. And that's the truth.
You look fantastic.
You look fantastic.
Ancient.
No, not at all. You look fantastic, and we're glad that we were able to make it.
You guys look good.
Thank you. A todos ustedes, everybody, thank you very much for joining us once again in this magnificent show. We're very happy and we're very excited to have you watching the shows, and thank you for the comments, for the emails that we have received, and keep on watching that we are gonna bring you more amazing people like Mrs. Koele.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Thank you, Mrs. Koele.
Bye.
Love you.
Love
Take care.
you.